Hey guys, welcome back to 79 Projects. We're back at it here again with the trike. In the end of the last video, I discussed about sorting out this front strut bar here, just to work out a bit more strength. So this part here, I definitely want that a bit, or at least the top part, to be essentially 90 degree with the ground. Going to do 90 degrees with the forks of the forklift. Plan is about this mark here that I made. When I make this straight, there's a beam that's going to come straight across to roughly here, and then come down to roughly in this area there. That should strengthen up the backwards and forwards motion of that, give me the rake I want. Also give me a nice, very solid point to make the seat, which will be ideal, really. Got to have a place to sit when you're sliding around sideways everywhere. And also give me another point to make a top engine mount here as well, just to make sure that the engine is going to be nice and secured. I have no doubt that these two here and this here will be more than enough to hold it, but I'd rather just be on the safe side with it. So with that idea underway, well, in my mind, going to get some measurements. I probably need to get another bit of tube off the shelf there, some more 38 by 38 box to make up that piece. I'm going to work out the angles I need to cut this at, and I'll be right back at it. So I've made my marks here for what I'm going to do. So cut across this edge, square it along the sides, and on the side as well here. And then basically what I'm going to be doing is cutting a small wedge going upwards this way, somewhere to probably a bit higher than that black mark, to be honest. That should be somewhere about there. And then this whole front top part then is going to tip forward. I do have a bubble level that I'm going to put at the top here, which will hopefully get me my flat part. So it should be this part then should be at the 90 degrees I want, and then grab out the trusty welder back there, do a couple tacks, and then I can start measuring up for this top bar here. Let's go! So, coming to a little snag. Cut that wedge out, that's not a problem. I got it pretty much bang on with everything. I'm quite happy with that. The only downside is now how it's sitting. I knew I'd lose some ride height at the front, but that is now going to be too low at the front for what I need. So the only thing I can think of is in this section here, I've got to take probably between 50 and 100 mil out of that section, re-weld it back up to get the desired ride height, if not a little bit higher in the front. A little bit annoyed about that. I didn't expect I would lose that much ride height. I thought I'd only lose maybe 10 mil, but this is looking like I've lost probably a good 30 to 40 mil, so it's a lot more than I thought. So yeah, need to cut a small section out of there. I'll probably start off with about 50 mil. So I just finished cutting off that part I just did initially just there, and then measure 50 mil, recut it, and then tack it on, see what the ride height is going to be like then. Oh well, this is the joys of building something from scratch with only a mental picture and idea of what it's meant to look like in your head. We're not rolling anymore. So you're now just going to measure up about 50 mil, which I think is roughly about here. About there. Measure it, cut it, put it back on the trike, lower it down, look at the ride height on the ground. If it's good, weld it up. Time to see if that's got the right height, which, just looking at it that way, looks like it. Let's lower it down and have a little look-see. Let's turn that around the right way. Right height's a little bit better. Next thing is just going to make sure that when we weld it up, you see how it's slightly not straight, so just got to twist it ever so slightly, and then we can just this part, that part there. Got to twist it ever so slightly, and then we can weld it up. Now, let's see if that's a bit better. See if that's a bit more accurate to what it needs to be. Once again, lower it down. Forks are on the ground. Like the video's now upside down. There we go. Oh, it's fucking heavy. Well, main thing is, how's that? Straighter. Definitely straighter. Just slightly twisted offset slightly. I think I can make that work though. I think I can make that work. Let's do that. Cool, so I got all that sorted up there. That is actually looking pretty good. Just been taking a few measurements from here down to roughly there. What I'm thinking of is from here across up to about 350 mil, and then just do a bar straight down to the center there, somewhere in that gap. The bit of 38, my 38 box section, I was hoping that would be enough to do the whole thing. It's not. I need about 900 mil overall. But I found these two bits of 35 by 35 box section. I think they're either 1.6 or 2 mil thick, so they'll be perfectly strong enough. And also these other extra bits of 25 mil box section, which they will prove very handy. So I'm going to do this bar here, coming down to there, all out of the 35 mil box section, and then may just do a couple just angle bits of 25 just coming down to each of the side of the chassis of the frame there. That should make it nice and strong, especially for, you know, this area here where I want to have the seat. Again, you know, I'm a 130 plus kg fella. I'm not exactly light, so I need it to be able to quite happily withstand that weight. Not just downwards pressure, but when you start sliding it, the sideways motion as well. I want that to, you know, be pretty secure while sitting on there, and I feel like those bits of 25 mil box will do a very, very good job of that. So let me get some pieces cut up, and then we can get all that welded together, and yeah, then we will start working on the actual seat, which in the back room you'll see right there. Oop, that's too far. Yeah, right there. So yeah, get that on. That is just a standard go-kart seat, 4 bolt holes. You know, I think they're about, I think it was about $40, $50 brand new, something like that. Not exactly expensive. But yeah, we'll get them measured up. And yes, I will be cleaning up the ends of these before I tack weld them and everything like that. The little bits of surface rust, been talking with a couple welding people, this kind of thing, don't really need to worry about. That's not really going to harm your welding penetration. But when you've got something like this where you can physically feel that it's quite rough, as I said, that will be a bit of a problem. Your welds, yes, they will be fine, but they'll end up being quite dirty and black afterwards because they're having to penetrate through that as well. So yeah, I'll get all that sorted, and yeah, let's get to it. So I've been doing a bit of work off camera. One of the last things was I got that all sorted up, so it's nice and strong. I've been working on, working on where I want to have the seat. So I've been doing some picture taking, well, not really picture taking, we're just eyeing up things up, taking a few measurements, that kind of thing. And I've come up with this little bracket right here. So I've got the two holes on there. They equate to the spacing on the go-kart seat that we're going to use, which is about 245 mil apart, 246, 8 mil hole. And this little bit of 25 by 25 box section, what that's going to do is sit roughly here, somewhere in there, nice above the chain, in a nice, pretty good spot there. Probably should have recorded me welding this together. Ooh, there's a pretty decent weld. Made up another one of these 25 by 5 mil things for the rear two holes of the seat. Again, 8 mil holes, bolted, tested it on there. They fit up nicely. Just need a couple washers for the rear bolt holes, just so they have a bit more surface area clamping down onto the actual plastic part of the seat. So yeah, next thing, clean up the surface on there, find out rough space I want that to be in on the frame there, and then bolt the seat on. If that works out, weld up those, make up some brackets from the rear mount of the seat, which I think is actually roughly above the axle here, so that's quite nice. And then just have them go straight down to this rear bar. I think that'll probably be the easiest thing. Make it nice and strong. I still plan on the sides of here welding some pieces of 25 box section just to come straight down to these parts here. Whoop, there. This each side frame. Again, just I'm a heavy boy. I want it to, be sure that it's going to be able to hold my weight when going sideways and everything like that. Yeah, so I will get that done and get back to you shortly. Okay, so got that all welded up, well, tacked in place I should say. Yes, there is a gap there. I was just trying to get it pretty level, as you can see this way. Pretty spot on in the middle there, and pretty good there. It could be a little bit better, but I think that is pretty well done. What I am going to do about this gap here though is found that just before I started tacking. It's a offcut of some of this 25 box section, which was from this piece here I believe. So I'm going to flatten that out, jam it inside here to compensate for that gap, because yeah, it's a bit of a gap to fill up with some weld. I tried to do it with this tack here, it worked, but then I broke it, and yeah, so I thought no, re-tack it on, and should get a piece of metal in the middle there to get that all sorted. So it's, how am I going to do that? Got to work out how to cut that piece up. So I just need a small bit, actually. I wonder if I got a small bit of the flat bar. That might work better in there actually. Just thinking. Just that gap there looks to be very similar to that thickness. Ooh, can we zoom in? Or focus on it? Well, yeah, looks to be very similar thickness to that 5mm flat bar. So I'll get a small piece of that cut up, wedged in there, and get all that welded up. So that's all nice and welded up now. Please do excuse the excessive welds. I am slowly getting better, but yeah, again, they're going to be having a lot of weight on them, but that's going to be nice and solid. I am not going to touch it. It's going to be bloody hot. I was hoping that I could mount the seat on it. I think that might need to wait for another day. I'm running out of time currently. So yeah, I think this is going to have to wait for another time for when the seat is actually mounted, but that is the start of the seat bracket. Seat, going to go down here. I believe the back is about 40 mil lower than that thing, so you know, should be sweet as. So what would have been a mere second for you has actually been 2 to 3 weeks for me. Life has just been getting in the way, but I have done a couple of things off camera. As you can see, this is the position of the seat that I'm getting. The back is a little higher than I was expecting. I was wanting it just ever so slightly back. Just, you know, get a bit more comfort. Well, not necessarily comfort, but a little bit lower center of gravity, but that's all right. You know, this is, again, first time doing this kind of thing. As you can see, you've got bolts holding it there. Got this rear bracket mounted up. You know, got some, what are they, like coach bolts, or I can't remember what they're called, but you know, got the nice smooth top on them, so they don't poke into your ass when you're going sideways. Next step is I'm going to turn the trike 90 degrees on the forks here on the forklift, just so I've excuse me, easier access going from this bracket down to here. Weld up those supports. Just, you know, welder this kind of thing, be easier if it was off to, well, a bit more free. And then that will be the seat completely mounted. And yeah, and yes, I will be giving it a test fit with my big fat ass to make sure that it holds the weight nice and securely. It'll also give me a good idea of where I need to do what I need to do with the handlebars. If you know that needs to, if it can stay, work. There we go. Stay in this kind of position, or if I need to change this, rotate the stem round to that, flip the handlebars around. Also give me a good idea where I need to have the foot pegs. One thing I have been thinking about is the type of throttle. I think I may have mentioned it in another video. I don't want to go with a twist or thumb throttle on the handlebars, just because when you're turning one of the directions, it's going to be harder for you to, you know, thumb or twist to keep the throttle on. But if you go with a foot throttle, so just a standard go-kart accelerator pedal with a really short throttle cable, that I think will be better for controlling the drift trike. And in terms of brakes, I plan on, you know, got the disc back here. It's a hydraulic caliper, which got somewhere in my back room back there. Gonna have a somewhere this area. They have the cylinder here, and then gonna have like a drift car style big handle that you'll pull back to lock the wheels or slow down a bit more slowly. So that's going to be plans for the next video, getting that sorted. Oh yeah, also chain tensioner, that's going to be next video too. So yeah, let's get this seat finished and mounted. Let's take some measurements, cut some stuff up, do some more welding. But firstly, move the trike 90. I'm going to move this part out this way. Just again, it's be easier. Just easier access to everything. Welder's on a long extension cord, so that's not a problem. Let's get to it. think I might be running out of gas. Could also just be the unclean metal on it. Yeah, but that is all tacked up now, ready to rock and roll. Yeah, so yeah, tacked everywhere. Yeah, unbolt the seat, finish up the welds. Okay, so that's all now mostly welded up. I'm pretty sure I'm actually running out of gas because it's very splattery compared to every other time. I mean, it might just be my wire feed or something like that. Again, just need to have another little play. But welded up around the bottom, up the top. I just haven't welded behind here. Ow, that's hot. Behind here and here. I don't feel like it really needs it, to be honest. You know, it's welded on 3 sides. I'm going to let that cool down. I do want to put a bracket from between these two, just so that ties in the frame a little bit more to the back. I rather have more strength in the frame. I know that adds weight and everything like that, but I rather have more strength in the frame than anything. Yeah, again, I'm a heavy boy. I want this to be able to take, heavy people. Yeah. So I'll get back to you once this is cooled down. I've mounted the seat up, and get some ideas of where the throttle pedal is going to be. Again, the throttle pedal going to be in that area there. Throttle pedal is going to be. So it's been a while. I've let the metal cool down, added those in a couple support braces, just using some 25mm flat bar again, just underneath the seat, just under there, just a little bit more strength between the front mount and the rear mount of the seat, but that doesn't matter. There, as you can see, seat's all mounted up, it's looking pretty damn good, and I have already had a little test fit in there, and could have moved the seat a little bit more back, probably by about 100mm. Just make it a bit more comfy for my fat gut, more than anything. But otherwise, it feels really comfy, really secure. You know, it can handle my weight quite comfortably. Seat is done. Somewhat comfortable position. This is roughly where things are going to be. My feet, where your foot pegs, that kind of thing are. Handlebars currently definitely too far forward. Need to reverse the stem, so I think I might do that in the next video. That's not exactly an important part. Just want them probably more here, just so you're not leaning too far forward. The seat, I think it's a really good position, nice and solid. Easily handles my weight. Where my legs are, it's pretty comfortable. Turning the wheel, I have plenty of clearance around it. I think that's where we're going to finish off this video, come back, I'm going to do something about the brake, chain tensioner, probably sort out the handlebars, you know, bring them back a bit. Yeah, we're getting ever so closer to doing our first rip on this thing. I'm getting quite excited. Oh, that reminds me. I need another bolt for the stem, which that shouldn't be too hard, or yeah, too hard to get. Anyways, catch you in the next video.